Morning, Scott Weatherford, ACCO Wood Products, and very pleased to be here. Really excited about participating in a great conversation. Let me start with a couple things about ACCO Wood Products, and we'll get a diverse group here, may not know who we are. We are a local wood products manufacturing company and forest management. We have two divisions, two sides of our business. We also own and operate a small short line railroad in Fruitvale. Fruitvale is about an hour's drive south of here, close to the U.S. border, just outside of Trail. We have a very long and vibrant history in wood products. This is our picture of our founder, my wife's grandfather, immigrant from Sweden in the 1920s. Our official history goes back to 1959, but much broader or much longer history for our company beyond that. We're a family-owned business, third generation, value-driven, and very integrated with our community. We have manufacturing plant and offices in Fruitvale, and all our forestry operations are in the local area here, Trail, Rosalind, Nelson, Castlegar. And from size-wise, we're responsible for about 100 plus direct jobs in our region. So I want to share with you a little bit today about our perspectives on workforce development as a rural employer. Before I do that, let me give you a little bit of context of our industry. I think it helps set the stage. So some key drivers for the forest industry. We have strong demand for wood products globally. A lot of people around the world are recognizing that wood is good. Wood is a better building material than steel and concrete from an environmental and climate perspective. There's a lot of global competition. Places like Russia, China, South America, and even Africa now are becoming major suppliers for wood products around the world. And most of those areas have much less cost of timber or cost of manufacturing than Canada. Trade disputes. The forest industry in Canada has always been at the forefront of international trade disputes with the Softwood Lumber Agreement, which many of you probably heard of. Something we're going to continue, obviously, and unfortunately to be involved in the future. Reduce access to timber. It's becoming more and more difficult for mills to get the right log that they need to manufacture the specialty products that we do here in the Kootenays. Technology advancements. Our industry, in dealing with some of these challenges for the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, has really turned to technology to give us a competitive edge. So new technology, disruptive technology is nothing new to our industry. We traditionally embrace it, and you see it throughout mills in our region as well as the province and the country as a whole. Increasing regulations. We're a very regulated industry. That's becoming more so by the year, and it's just part of doing business for us. And new products and markets. This kind of comes back to the first point in that the stronger demand for wood products is leading to development of new products and new applications for wood. A good example is there's a growing use of wood to build high-rise structures. Just recently at UBC in Vancouver, the Brock Commons building is I think a 15-story high-rise built entirely out of wood. And you're going to see 20, 30, 40-story buildings around the world in the next couple of years built entirely out of wood with very little concrete and steel. So as a result, what we have now in 2017 is the BC forest industry, which is a highly efficient, state-of-the-art, well-integrated forest management and manufacturing industry, and operating in a very complex environment. The old stereotypes of what the forest industry was, loggers hiking up the mountain with a chainsaw and small mom-and-pop mills, that doesn't exist anymore other than storybooks. It's not what characterizes the industry now. So that really drives, those drivers really shape the strategy of forest and wood products manufacturing companies in the province. But more specifically, those drivers shape what the workforce is that we need in our industry. And it really comes down to, I think, three things that characterize what the workforce of the 21st century in our industry needs to be. And the first is skills. We need a workforce that has skills. It's the basic skills. It's the more specific skills. It's the people who can weld, who can be electricians, millwrights, mechanics. It's also the skills you don't traditionally associate with the forest industry. We need people with marketing skills. We need people with finance skills. We need people with international trade skills. This is relatively new in the last 10, 15 years to our industry, to have marketing departments to be really involved in international trade. That's a new skill set that we're really starting to try and attract people into our industry with. The third piece around skills is something Lucas was just talking about, and I was really happy to hear that. It's around problem solving. Is we don't need people that just bring a understanding of a textbook to the job. We need people who can think critically, who can problem solve. That's with the technology and the complexity of our business going forward. We need people who can apply the skills that they've learned, not just regurgitate them. The second thing we need is a workforce that understands culture and can work with our corporate cultures. Again, I think historically the industry has been very focused on, or has been very characterized by an old school mentality. Going forward, our culture is based on integrated teams. We need people who can integrate in those teams. We need people with drive. We need people with initiative. We don't need somebody coming in just looking for a job just to clock in and clock out. We're looking for people who are interested in growing, interested in being challenged, interested in applying their skills in problem solving. We're looking for people to take ownership in our mission and vision. So some of the things we're doing. We by no means have the answers, but we're trying some different things. First, we're engaging with local youth and schools. We're getting out to primary schools. We're getting out to secondary schools, talking to them about the industry, opportunities, and skill sets that they need. We're also down as far as the nursery schools. We had the Beaver Valley Nursery School tour our mill, 4 and 5-year-olds, talking, obviously not about specific millwright skills or electrician skills, but just talking about the industry and drawing a connection between the community and the business they drive by in town, and just introducing them to those concepts a little bit. And then up to the universities, we're doing co-op programs. We have summer student programs. So we're really trying to involve youth in our business. The second thing we do is really try and create opportunities for employees' initiative to take them somewhere. So we have apprentice programs for employees that want to become millwrights. We are expanding into new businesses, and when we expand into new business lines, we're just not thinking about what's right for the business, we're also thinking about what's right for our employees. So for example, we're expanding into a business into landscape supply material. And partly we did that because it's the right thing for the business, but we also had this particular employee with a passion and a drive and an interest in developing that. So we married those two together and created an opportunity for our company as well as for this individual to grow, and it's working out quite well. And the third is we're building a culture where our employees are really engaged in the success of the business. We meet with all of our employees once a month. We do a lunch and learn. We bring lunch in. We meet in a small group. We talk about a different topic of the business every month, have a good discussion, so the employees really get a sense of what's going on in the business and where their role fits into it. And that's really built that two-way communication, and we really built some ownership of the employees in the business. We're doing a lot of training, the traditional on-the-job training, but sending a lot of employees out to local training programs here in the area, as well as outside the area in Vancouver and abroad and elsewhere. The third thing we're doing is really changing the idea of retirement as well. Just dealing with the people transitioning into retirement. We're no longer looking at retirement as just a hard date where you're working Friday and not working Monday, and looking at some interesting things there. So let me just wrap up here with some thoughts on where we go from here. And I read a lot of different business books, but one of the guys I read a lot of is an author named Patrick Lencioni, who's got some great books on teamwork and organizations. And he defines, just flip through these real quick here, 3 things to look for in employees. And I've really adopted these as we interview people, as we look for employee development, and they fit very well with the skill sets that our workforce needs. And we need people that are smart, hungry, and humble. And I think there's work that we need to do both as ACCO Wood Products. 2 minutes. No, a minute. There's work that we need to do as ACCO, but I think as an industry and I think as a region to help develop people who can be both be smart, be hungry, and humble, ensuring that everyone has the basic skills that they need to do the job. And this is sad because I think we have people coming into our business that don't have basic skills. We have grade 12 kids that show up that can't do simple math, can't divide 36 by 2. And that's troubling. So we need to do more work at the basic skills. But we also need to create those opportunities for our employees, both the youth and seasoned employees, to develop skills and really focus on the problem-solving piece of it, not just developing skills, but how to apply that. The second two, hungry and humble, we need people who, obviously, as I said, who can be team players and have initiative. And while there's a lot of that is inherent in an individual's character, I think as an industry we can do a lot to pull that out of people, to make them excited about the job, about the company, about the industry, to really unlock that initiative that's within them and really show them the team culture that we have and how they can be a piece of that. And I think that's really what's going to characterize our workforce going forward. So with that, a little bit over, but if you have any questions, happy to answer them as well.